Hello, everyone. This is Michelle Biggs, CEO of My Best Everyday Coaching and Consulting, and the host of Real Conversations with Michelle, coming to you with my first year anniversary episode of Real Conversations. And the topic is facing adversity with grit and grace. And I have two very special guests joining me. But before I get started, for those who are new to my platform, let me tell you a little bit about Real Conversations and myself. I am a master certified life coach, as well as a career coach. Spent 34 years in human resources, 14 years with an investment bank, and 20 years with a global pharmaceutical company. But I have a heart for coaching and I have a heart for helping others. And I use this platform to talk about topics that many of us have encountered and or may encounter at some point in our life, with the goal that something that is shared, you'll be able to apply in a positive manner. This is an educational platform, and my tagline is learning and growing together. So as you are hearing our speakers, know that I am learning from them as much as you may be learning from them as well. And what is being shared by them is their opinion and not necessarily the opinion of My Best Everyday Coaching and Consulting. Like anything else that you watch, please do your homework. If you hear something that interests you and you think you want to apply it in your life, do your homework to make sure that it is right for you. That said, I would like to introduce my guests for tonight. I have first up Sonny Fox. Hey, Sonny.
Hi, Michelle.
How are you?
Fine. How are you? I'm
I
doing
am
good.
good, good, and thank you. And I'll tell you a little bit about how I met each of my guests. So, Sonny and I actually pledged the same sorority and the same undergraduate chapter, which is Gamma Kappa chapter, Buffalo University and Buff State, Damon College, and Canisius. I'm probably leaving out one, right, Sonny? But met you in, when did you pledge, Sonny? When did you go over?
1997.
1997. I won't talk about when I pledged. It was a lot more years before you did. But I'm
Just a
so glad.
couple.
Just a couple, just a smidgen. But glad you have joined me. And
Thank
look
you for
forward.
having me.
Yes, and look forward to all that you and my next guest will share tonight. Next up is Howard Boone. Hey, Howard.
How you doing, Miss Michelle?
I'm doing well. And there he go with Miss Michelle. You're making me feel old.
Ah,
Making me feel old. But Howard and I met at church. We were at a startup church, Covenant Life Fellowship. Shout out to Covenant Life.
Hmm.
Um, and I've seen Howard um just grow up. I don't even know if you were in college when you first started, but I know you were in the ROTC when I met you as well. Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I
no,
know. But
no.
tell
I
people.
was, I was, I graduated high school already when you had met me, and
Okay.
I had joined the reserves right at I went reserves as soon as I finished high school. So yeah, I was doing the reserve thing before I actually went to college. Then when I got to college, I did ROTC. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourselves, post the incidents, I mean pre the incidents that basically changed a lot for the two of you. So, Howard, why don't you go first?
All right. So before my accident, I don't know. I was a get up and go person. Did everything. Didn't have to ask nobody for nothing. Um, but got to college. After I did 5 years reserves, and then I decided to transfer over to do ROTC. I was still getting my time of service, but I was just doing my service through ROTC so I can get commission once I graduated from St. Aug in Raleigh. Um, so I was a criminal justice major, and then in my junior year, I started to pledge, and
Hmm.
upon finishing out the process, we had to get initiated, and we had to go to South Carolina, and that's when things turned left. I got shot in the back of the neck by a straight bullet, and that just left me paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah. Yeah. Young, just did you graduate at that point or you just pledged at that point?
No, I was pledging. I was in my second semester junior year at
Second
that
semester
time.
junior year. Yeah.
Right. hmm
Yeah.
At 23.
23. Yes. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about how life has changed for you and the things that you're doing now to stay motivated and to continue to keep pushing. Sonny, talk a little bit about you. Pre your accident and just life for you right now. Sonny, you're on mute.
So sorry, my bad.
No, you're good.
Um, I was 38, I believe, and I was a single mom, newly divorced, like just recently divorced, not even a year before. And I was a manager at a nonprofit organization, the Community Action Organization, and I was a member of Buffalo Alumni Chapter, I believe, during that time. And I was, a very active mom in my kids' life. I've always been that way. So with 2 kids with diabetes, I took them to all their diabetes appointments, counseling appointments to help them through the transition of the divorce. They were in dance, they were in sports. I went to all of the special education meetings. So I was very active and very involved
Yeah.
in everyday life for them. So, yeah, I was very independent, but I had a really good support system with my family and my ex-husband's family.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah. And tell people if you're comfortable, tell people what happened, the incident that caused you to be where you are right now.
Um, well, at the time, the kids were on spring break, and so we went on family vacation to South Carolina, the kids and my mom, and we went to visit my brother. We were there for the week, but I left about that Wednesday, and I drove. The plan was to drive up to Atlanta because I'd registered for a conference to learn how to be a public speaker and earn money doing that job.
Mm-hmm.
And I just drove into Atlanta. I stopped at Pizza Hut to get something to eat. And from there, I was headed to the airport to pick up another friend of mine who was flying in from Buffalo. She was going to be my roommate for the same conference. And I remember checking my GPS. It was 15-minute ride to get to the airport. And I left out of the parking lot, merged onto the highway, and somewhere in that 15 minutes, I never made it to the airport.
Mm.
I was rear-ended by another vehicle who was speeding, and the way he hit the back of my car, my car ended up being wedged between uh, a cement block and the car behind me.
Mm.
So it was smushed in.
Yeah.
The back seat was more or less, the trunk was in the back seat, and my chair was pushed against the steering wheel. They had to use the jaws of life to pull me out. I
hmm
was unconscious and unresponsive at the time. And I'm going off of the reports and what was
Mm-hmm.
shared because I don't remember. The last thing I remember was leaving Pizza Hut and merging onto the highway. When
Yeah.
I woke up, I was in the hospital. And I was told that the paramedics rushed me straight to the hospital. They did not have my ID on me. They didn't take it with me. So the hospital had me listed as a Jane Doe.
Yeah. And I remember
So
that because I remember Soros were on the horn trying to figure
mhm.
out what was happening. Yes.
when my girlfriend from the airport never saw me and knew I was supposed to come and I wasn't responding to my phone, she called back to Buffalo to call a mutual friend and say, hey, she called Lorinda and said, hey, have you seen her? And then Lorinda was like, oh, we were just on the chat earlier this morning and nobody's heard from her since X, Y, and Z time. And so everyone was on the horn trying to see if anybody had heard from me talking.
Mm-hmm.
They eventually started calling the hospitals, the the jails, the precincts. They were calling everybody to try to figure out if anyone had seen me.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody knew my name at the hospital. So for hours, like 9 or 12 hours, they couldn't find me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until a nurse caught me at a moment when I was conscious, because I was in and out of consciousness. And somehow she got me to blink, because that's the only thing on me that could move was my eyelids. Blink my mom's phone number. She didn't know it was my mother. I just blinked a phone number of someone she could call.
Mm-hmm.
She called my mother and said, are you looking for someone? And my mom said yes, and she described me, and the nurse told her that they had me at the hospital.
Yeah.
So that was how I had suffered a internal decapitation. I had a chance fracture at the T6 level, which is what left me paralyzed,
Mm-hmm.
and a number of cerebral and thoracic fusions were needed to stabilize my spine.
Mm-hmm.
I was considered a quadriplegic at that time,
Okay.
and the only thing that could move were my eyelids for a very long time. The only way that I could communicate is through yes or no responses by
Mm-hmm.
blinking my eyes. Um, and so
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah. So both of you have gone through massive change. Talk about a massive change in your life in terms of what you have been used to doing and now kind of where you are. When you talk about adversity, um, I can't even imagine how you guys are feeling. But what I do know is that your drive and spirit has inspired so many people. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Also, what motivates you. So Sonny, you talked a little bit about quadriplegic. For people who are not familiar with the terms, what's the difference in quadriplegic and paraplegic? Because I've heard both terms. Many of us probably have heard both terms. What's the difference?
My understanding is that quadriplegic means that all four limbs are disabled,
Yeah,
meaning both arms and both legs. So the quad being four.
yeah.
As a paraplegic, I'm paralyzed on just two limbs, and
Okay.
that's my legs. It actually starts from my brow line
Mm-hmm.
and goes down. So everything from my brow line down is paralyzed. And so I can't walk and stuff like that. But that's why I'm considered a paraplegic at this point now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And how about you in terms of your mobility?
From the neck down, I'm
Okay.
considered a
You consider
quadriplegic.
quad.
But some people ask me because like they see a lot of videos like on YouTube with like some people they can move their arms, but they don't have like really mobility of their upper body. They can move their arms, but they really can't flex their wrist or move
Right.
their fingers. They don't have control of their triceps, but they can just like you know move their arms left and right and pick
Mhm.
up things like their thumb if they can.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
But me,
What
but me, that's not the case. I can't move nothing.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
And what's
And
what's been rehabilitation like? Because I can imagine, waking up and now again, life is very different for you. So talk about rehabilitation and what that was like for you.
I'm
Howard, why don't you
still,
go first?
I'm still. I feel like I'm still learning. Like it's still a lot of things every day that you have to really learn.
Mhm.
I think the first step of my rehabilitation was trying to forgive the guy who shot me, which wasn't intended.
Mm.
Which wasn't intended. It was a straight bullet, Um, but really, like I said, I'm still learning. Like, yeah, I don't know. I can't really say too much.
Yeah.
I listen to music sometimes for therapy. Um, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
trying to really go through the motions.
And the forgiveness part, where is did you say you have forgiven the person?
I actually I had to because when I, it was probably going into my second year.
Mhm.
In around December, they had the court date for him. And I actually seen him like in person for the first time. And so
Mhm.
before that, I had to like get my mind together, all that stuff. And so my family, I got family in South Carolina, and that's where everything originally took place. And so
Okay.
everything when we had the hearing, uh, we had to go to South Carolina. And I had family in South Carolina, so it was a lot of family that was there. Everybody was crying, emotional, and I was like the only one who like held it together. Like I had
Right.
I don't know. At that point, I didn't really have no anger, but at first, like
Okay.
every day, I woke up like very, very mad for the
Mhm.
bit black, for lack of better words.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine what words you want to use right now.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. What kept you going, Howard? What really pushed you? Because I mean, after something like that, I can only imagine, like you said, forgiveness.
Mhm.
It's hard when you're going through something like that, especially when you were not the intended target, right?
Right.
Um, what helped you? What really helped you to get into that, to be in that place of forgiveness for you?
Just to know that everybody is not perfect. And so like
Mhm.
my aunt, she had told me, she was like, God set you down for a reason, to observe and watch everything and to understand. And it took me a while to understand that. And so I started thinking like what does that really mean? And so I started to reflect on like the things I've done in the past and
Mhm.
the things that my friends have done in the past that I was around and just things like that. And I tell people like some people they don't get that opportunity to get second chances. Once
Yeah.
they do whatever they do, that's it. You know,
Mhm.
uh, regardless if you're a good person or not, you can have a good head on your shoulders, but you decide to, want to wild out with your homeboys one day, and then that be the last day that you wild out, and then
Mhm.
the same
Amen.
homeboy that you wild out with may not even be sitting in prison with you or wherever you at. So
Yeah.
yeah, just reflecting on my personal experiences and just trying to understand that everybody is not perfect. So
Mhm.
who am I? It's like the next person on what they did. Yeah, it put
Mhm.
me in a bad situation, but you know that it is what it is.
Yeah. And what I heard you say loud and clear is understanding your purpose and really digging deep in terms of that, and having your aunt say that to you, really helping you to think about what that is for you.
Right, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Sonny, how about you? What motivates you? What keeps you going?
My kids,
Mhm.
uh, they really did help me a lot. It's motivated me to keep going and get back to them. I just wanted to hug them again. And even now, um, my son, who has autism, he relies on me a lot, and I want to be present for him. My daughter, she still calls me and needs advice or has questions and says that I understand her really well and I can calm her down and she can tell me everything, and that means a lot to me. So I wanna be here for them. I have a great support system, a huge support system. So even on the days when it gets real dark, they are there with a phone call. I can lean on the shield, as we say in sorority life, anytime and and say, hey, I need help. My aide didn't show up and I need I need help, and people will come from Rochester just to come, which is an hour away,
Mhm.
just to come down and be here to help me out.
Mhm.
So that drives me. I also try to keep my hands busy. I like to create and be creative. So I've made flower pens and centerpieces for my dining room table, like floral arrangements and stuff. And even I get a lot of medicine, take a lot of medicine. I get a lot of pill bottles.
Mhm.
And so I created a thing called Pocket Inspirations to give to some of my sores and friends that needed an inspirational word to keep them motivated and blessed. I I try to remind them that God got me through this, and if He can do it for me, He can do it for them. I'm a very faithful person, and I know how to call on Jesus when I need it. So I try to share that good news with those around me, and that motivates me. Like God kept me here for a reason, and if that's the way that I can still reach out and help others, then that's if He lays it on my heart, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and I think about, many of us face challenges that are not even close to what you're dealing with. And to both of your points, finding what that purpose is in your life, um, just really having that be your driver for keeping you to move is the commonality that I'm hearing from the both of you. Um, Howard, how are you? Because I know you have done some things too to keep
Right,
you
right.
going. I mean, when I saw your podcast, I was like, look at him with a podcast. You were doing podcasts, I think, before I did. So talk a little bit about that, because I think you do leverage that as one of your ways to share with people and push and motivate people. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, first, before I did the podcast, I started a nonprofit,
Okay.
which was called Legacy 318. 318 is the day that I got shot. Um, 3 represents the month of March. 18 represents the actual date. And legacy at first was just legacy. Like, how will you be remembered? Because I used to always talk about like building a legacy. Like, for me personally, like building a legacy. Like, what would you do? Like, the things that you do today will reflect on how your kids will move and gravitate towards the world and stuff like that. But I ended up turning legacy into an acronym, which was let everything go and control yourself. And
Oh,
so,
Jesus.
yeah,
Wow.
so
Mm,
I reflected it off of gun
Look at
violence,
God.
and
Hmm.
it was hard to start because I can't move anything. So every moving part you need help with and stuff.
mm-hmm.
But I did my first um event. I threw a kickball tournament at I think it was it was somewhere down. I forgot what park it was, but I threw a
Mhm.
kickball event on the 1 year anniversary of when I got shot. Like right when I came home, the news
Mhm.
came. I got interviewed and stuff like that. We had music, hot dogs, fundraiser, and all. And actually, because I wasn't the only one who got shot, it was two other people who got shot that day, and the one other person
Mm.
who got shot, he was, I think he was 4 years younger than me, and his family showed up, and we donated, I think, some money to him and gave him a shirt.
Wow.
He got shot in the jaw, and
Mhm.
when he showed up, he said the bullet or some of the fragment was still in his jaw. He needed
Mhm.
surgery, like to finish removing, the rest of the parts of the bullet because he wasn't really talk. He was talking clear, but you could tell it made like probably hurt a little bit. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
after I did that, I started writing poetry. I
Mhm.
did that when I would like those dark days when I would be feeling like down. I I wrote started writing poetry. It started out with um, five stories, and each five stories they all like reflected off of five characters. They were
Mhm.
real stories, but I turned them into poetry. And real stories based off of gun violence and maybe suicide.
Mhm.
And I turned them into poetry so nobody can really know like what the exact story is, but they can get like imagination in their head of what really happened. And
Yeah.
that is called power behind the mask. But
Mm.
I have yet to find a poet. I mean, not a poet, but a publisher to help me do that.
Yeah. We working on
So
that though, Howard. We working on that.
right, so man, I did. I tried to do the T-shirt things where
Yeah.
that I did a bike drive for um for Christmas for like children who didn't really have nothing for
Mhm.
the holidays. But with the shirt thing, like I said, it's a lot of moving pieces because I can't do for myself. And when you need to like help for everything, I needed to find something that I could like do for myself and I could enjoy. So that's when I started doing poetry. But I also thought about it. I was like, well, a podcast wouldn't be bad because the only thing you gotta do
Mhm.
is get somebody to press record to stop it, and then upload it. So if I could do that, I don't really need nobody for real. Like the video,
Yeah.
I don't. I can wait for the video part to come. Because
Right.
hopefully
Right.
somebody will see the vision behind that. And the podcast is called Boulevard Mentality. So,
Okay. And what's the thing behind that?
just take Capital for example. You know,
Mhm.
he going down Capital run downtown all the way to Virginia, 401 US one, and it's a whole lot of options that you can take. Whether you turn left, turn right, you want to go to McDonald's, you want to go to Burger King. So it's your decision to build your legacy. And your lane is your lane. And people on the outside, you may go to California, Sunset Boulevard. There's a whole lot of designer stores. And people coming out of designer stores seeing all these cars, right? They seeing
Mm.
all these cars. They may be foreign, they may look nice, but everybody has their own baggage. Like everybody
Mhm.
has their own
Mhm.
stuff that they're dealing with inside this journey and with inside this travel that we're going through. So just knowing that and putting that in perspective, that kind of helped me start the
Yeah.
okay. But I might end up changing the name. I don't know. I,
Okay.
I don't see.
Okay. But both of y'all still, I mean, you are doing things to, like I said, to inspire other people, which I love about you. You're not allowing your situation to prevent you from still impacting people in a positive way. Um, Talk to me a little bit about um your life lessons through all of this. What have been your life lessons?
For me or for who's going
Yeah,
first?
so you could start off first, Howard.
Uh, life lessons. I don't know. I I sometimes reflect on my grandfather because he ended up becoming paralyzed, and some of the but he was a paraplegic from the waist down, and sometimes I just look at when I want company to come over or somebody to talk to, ain't nobody answering the phone or whatever. I used to reflect on when he was paralyzed, and he wanted because I used to cut his hair all the time when he got older, and so he used to call me, and sometimes like I'd be like, okay, just give me time. Like I'll get there this week, but he'll want like the day that he called, and it's like pushing things off to the side and knowing that other people have lives, but at the same time, you really ain't that busy to check in for a little bit, and then it knows that
Yeah.
like people like just want just a little bit of time. It ain't got to be an hour. It could be 45 minutes. Come
Yeah.
over. Let me hear your voice or just a little bit. But some people don't understand that. But yeah, learning that for sure, realizing that for sure, and like I said, a lot of things that's happening, and now I tend to reflect on my grandfather and stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
Which is on my dad's side of the family. He passed away in 2015, but
Mhm.
yeah, just that mainly really, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sonny, how about you? Your life lesson as you've gone through the things that you've gone through.
Um, I've learned that when everything you think you need gets stripped away, you really see what's important,
Mm.
really what's at your core of you. You think that you grow up and you think that you are what your job is, and you are who you're married to, and if you're married or not married, and you think that who you are is tied into do you have kids, how the kids turned out, you don't have kids, whatever. And at the end of the day, if God was to strip all of the things that you think you need away from you, which He did for me, it really made me realize how important my faith is and where it should be at the core of my life. And so that's what I've learned, to keep my faith and my belief in God at the center of my life and in the forefront of my mind, and not make allowances for things that go against what I truly believe just because I want to be popular or want to be liked, or I want to, make more money, because the Bible teaches me about all of those concerns that I have. And when I push that to the side just to allow myself to be in those situations, it's not worth it in the end, because when it when everything was stripped away from me and all I could do was lay in that bed and look up, I had to I had to thank him for, like I was said, giving me another chance. A
Mhm.
lot of people don't get that. I had to thank him for allowing me to get it right again,
Mm.
to be patient with me, like you said, for that grace, and that grace that God has extended to me. I'm learning and have learned to extend it to others,
Mm.
because people make mistakes. We all
Mhm.
make mistakes,
Mhm.
and we all need another chance to just get it right. And if
Mm.
you can do that, if He can extend that to me, then I have no qualms about extending that to others.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
even though people may think that what Howard and I are going through is difficult and challenging, because it is, other people go through challenges in their life that could be equally or more difficult. You just may not be visible.
Yeah.
on the outside. So
Yes.
we have to extend that grace to allow others to have a chance to be what
Yeah.
God wants them to be.
Yeah. And you
My
both.
to
Go
touch,
ahead, Howard.
I wanted to touch on what she said about like, you may not be able to see it on the outside, but it's inside. My uncle, he lost his arm probably when he was like 18. He had a basketball scholarship and all that
Yes.
stuff. And he told me he was happy. Like now that he's about, I don't know, probably like 50 something. I don't know. Now
Mm-hmm.
he said he's happy that it happened at a young age because he was able to adjust. Like if it would
Mm.
have happened like at an older age, he might not have been able to adjust. He was in rehab with a man who lost his leg, and the guy was like probably like 48 or something. He was really
Mm-hmm.
bitter, and he didn't know how to. He was just mad with everybody. And my uncle
Yeah.
had to sit him down and talk to him. But he was like a lot of disability may not be on the outside; it's just on the inside. Like it's a lot of
Mm.
like mentally, I may be
It
better than
is.
Mm,
someone who can walk, or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
mm,
or who's able to do. But yeah, I just wanted to say
Yeah.
that little.
Thank you, Howard. And you touched upon, I mean, you talk about grit and grace, grit having the determination and the perseverance to keep moving. And that's a mindset thing, right?
yes.
And when you talk about grace, the both of you is, allowing yourself to forgive, which is huge.
Mm,
Um, as well as allowing yourself to see the beauty in yourselves, right? As well. What advice would you give to others right now who are going through? And you kind of touched upon it, but anything more that you would say in terms of just advice to others that you would give who are going through challenges, right? Because every challenge may not um halt people from being able to achieve what they want to achieve. Um, what advice would you give to people?
that are going through challenges.
I would say probably just I don't know, find some peace somewhere.
Find
Because
some
everybody
peace.
goes, yeah, everybody's going through something. It just depends on what that something is.
Yes, yes,
And that
yes.
go back to just what we were saying. It may not be like visible. It can be something internal.
Yeah,
Depression, XYZ. But just find some type of peace because it's all it. I mean, of course, ain't nobody really gonna truly know what you go through, but you. But you have to
yeah,
keep, uh, you know, at least your mind has to be stable to some degree, so you can
yeah,
wake up some days even to realize that you can keep going outside of those bad days because you gonna have bad days. You can't hide that. Those bad
yeah.
days go.
And all of us do. Absolutely. And it's really how do you push forward when we're going through those things that sometimes just make us freeze. And sometimes some of the things that we do go through um can halt us, some of us from moving forward. Sonny, how about you? What advice would you give?
I believe when things catch you off guard and sort of the rug gets pulled out from under you and you need to sit it out, you need to sit down. Sometimes you need to take a minute. Give yourself some time to process what's going on. And don't feel bad because you can't just take the blow that life dealt you and keep it moving. Sometimes you need to catch your breath a little bit. And that's okay. Give yourself that
Mhm.
grace period. But my faith keeps me grounded, it
Mhm.
keeps me focused, and it gives me that motivation to move forward because I know that I'm not in this fight alone.
Mhm.
And I know that God's got my back. And through prayer and through meditation, I've learned to really tap into the resources that are available. You don't always think about it at the time that you're going through because your mind is cloudy. That's why you got to give yourself a little time. But another thing I've learned to do is to prepare for those downtimes in advance by identifying what my triggers are
Mm.
and and making that plan for escape. So I have a list of people I can call if I wanna watch a movie, if I wanna do something girly or have girl talk just to take my mind off of the stresses of life. I got numbers for prayer warriors, prayer partners I can have if I need to do a Bible study or I need to just pray through it. I got friends I can call that'll come and pick me up and take me somewhere if I need to just get out or go do something. And so I prepare for those things in advance because I know those tough days are going to come. I
Yeah.
know those days when I just need a hug and I just need somebody to listen and care. Um, when I need somebody who's got resources that are far more reaching than my own, then I call and say, hey, I need some help. Can
Mm-hmm.
you help me with this?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not afraid of asking for help because I know that I'm used to being independent and I'm used to being the one that's there for everybody else. But now I need some help and I'm not afraid to ask and I'm not afraid to acknowledge that I don't have all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about ego, it's not about pride, and it's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. People are willing to do anything to help you. They just don't know what to do. And when you share with them what you need, it it empowers them to say, "Hey, I can help with that. Let me see what I can do. Let me make some phone calls."
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
And my last question for you guys, what would you say to people who, because I'm sure after the incident you had some people who were clamoring to reach out and talk to you, and there might be people who are not sure what to say or what to do. How you want people to engage with you? What advice would you give to those people? And I heard you, Sonny, talk about, I'm going to reach out and ask for help. So you don't have a problem with that, doing that. But what would you say to someone who just has not been sure what to do in terms of supporting you? And how would you too?
Howard, do you want to go first? Because I've been talking. I want to share.
I go first. Man, definitely. So I went to homecoming for the first time after my accident happened, and I was kind of forced to go. I really didn't want to go because for one,
Okay.
it's a lot. Because I wasn't really going for the football. Because of course now I'm the brothers. They want me to go to the
Right.
tailgate. Everybody in the tailgate, and so I ended up going. I had a good time, but there were a lot of people that I used to talk to on a daily when I was in college that I never talked to until then,
Mm,
and
okay.
they didn't know the level of my injury, and I don't know because it's homecoming, people drunk, walking around high. I don't know, but
Homecoming
they
ain't all
wanted
about that, Howard. Come on
it
now.
ain't, it ain't, but the tailgate part, yes, and so
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, they some people was walking up to me trying to dap me up in my hand, and I'm just like I'm looking at them with a blank stare, like y'all, I will run your toes over right now. Get your hands up. Embarrassed,
I'm with you, Howard. I
embarrassed,
am so
embarrassed me
with
though.
you. Yes.
I would know you did say you're running toes
Yeah.
And
over.
then,
I
and
threaten
then,
people all the time. Don't play
yes,
with me.
Oh, oh God, Howard.
and then across the way, I see people peeking behind somebody's butt, trying to see, look at me, trying to, I guess, looking at
Right.
me how I'm reacting, or if they can say something, or if I'm talking or not, and I'm just like, you can speak, like it ain't nothing. You can talk if you want to, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I I tried to. Man, I don't know. I tried with my situation. Like it would be different. Like my level of injury is high, very high. So like I said before, like I have to depend on everybody for everything. So I try not to bring in new people into my life too many times because
Okay.
now it's like you got to start over. For one, they don't
Okay.
even know who you are as a person or who you was before this happened. So now you got to explain that. On top of all the challenges you dealing with your disability, on top of what they might have to help you with, and it's just like yeah, they might want to do it one time, but how many more times after two or three did they go want to do it before they be
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, that's too much.
Yeah. So you're talking about in terms of dating? Is that what you're talking about?
Everything,
Everything. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Howard, I just got to tell you, you still got me laughing over run your
I'm
toes
saying, yeah,
over.
I'm
I'm
so
just like,
tickled.
I'm
I'm
just like, no,
so
he just did
tickled.
not just say that. Oh
Hmm.
my God.
But
But
it's
yeah,
so
what I'm
true.
hearing you say, bringing someone new and having to kind of teach them in terms of how to engage with you.
Yeah.
And are they in it for the long haul is what I'm kind of hearing you say.
Even if it's
Uh
even if it's friends, like
yeah,
people say they want to come around, they want to help, but I
yeah,
don't I don't think they really understand. People don't really understand like everything.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah. Sonny, how about you? What advice what would you say to people in terms of how to support you and help you?
Well, I think one of the challenges I've had is just reminding my friends that I may be a little differently abled, but my mind is still intact. I can still laugh. I can still talk. I'm still me.
Yeah,
And so, don't be afraid to call me with girl talk. Don't be afraid to call me um, just to update me on what's going on with your life. If we used to talk 3 times a day before just on little stuff, then still call. Don't assume that just because I'm in this posture that I can't handle, um, you know, life sharing our lives. Like, I still want to know what's going on. I still want you to treat me like your friend.
yeah,
Don't assume that I'm too busy dealing with my own issues to share in your issue or your concern. Like, I still want to be included. I don't want to be left out of your life in that regard because you think I got bigger problems to deal with, and why would I want to deal with your work drama? Like,
yeah,
no, call me with the work drama, girl, because I'm here for all the tea.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Life,
let's
y'all still got
still
humor going. Howard
right.
definitely has humor going.
Howard just
I'm
spoke to
like,
my whole life right there because it is
mm,
so true.
yeah. Well,
Um,
look, I have some you guys are very special to me. And like I said, have inspired me. And when I was thinking about this topic, um, really through my coaching, a lot of times people get stuck with trying to do things and wanting to do things. And to me, you guys, you are the epitome of individuals who have faced adversity, but still find the strength to move forward and still impact people. Is finding that purpose. And that was the reason I really wanted to touch upon this topic on my anniversary.
she is so funny.
mhm.
She
I hope she
done. She'll be back in a second. She gotta realize this happened on the test run too.
Look, I'm gonna cut myself out the
okay.
live stream. I have some very special people who have joined me who wanted to talk a little bit of how you have inspired them. So, first up, I have this person look familiar, Howard?
Come on, bro. What is that?
Yeah.
Hi,
Man,
Javay. I don't want to mess up your name, Javay. Hi.
That's
Did I say your
fine.
name correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
go?
yeah. How has Mr. First of all, say who you are and how has Mr. Howard Boone inspired you?
My name is Jave Giddens, and Howard and I have known each other since sixth grade. I guess we were like 11. You were 12. He was 12, but we know each other since sixth grade. And Boone has inspired me in many ways. And of course, with us being in sixth grade, it inspired me to get in trouble mostly us get it going through school. But all jokes aside, Howard is a hardworking young man. Howard found a way to go to a school across town, make the coaches fall in love with him, make the whole school fall in love with him. But just by being himself, Howard knew how to find. We always joke some way we forgot to get 40 cents every day for lunch. Howard inspired me that you don't need to bring lunch. You just need to go ask for a quarter, a dime, and a nickel from each person, and somebody will pay for your lunch for you. So he's actually inspired me to do my job now. I'm a fundraiser, so I'm a beggar. So
Okay.
I
Yeah,
love
he's
it.
rocking and he's definitely rocking and rolling with the podcasts and the fundraisers and yeah.
I love Boone.
Yes. Thank you for
That's
joining. And
hilarious.
let's see here. I'm gonna go to
wow.
our GK
Oh my
Soror.
goodness.
Hey,
Of all the
my
ones you
special
could
Janera.
get.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, can hear
Yes.
you.
Oh well, oh my God. So first, I'm in the middle of Elsie in a hotel trying to be vacationing, but I had to join just to talk about Sonny, and I could be on for hours just talking about Sincere and Fox, but just briefly, when Sonny had her accident and we were all just so worried about her. And you guys know me. I need to be there. I need to in the midst of it. I need to know everything. And so when um, time was available, I made my way to Buffalo,
Yes, you did.
Isani, and I didn't know what I was gonna expect when I walked into that hospital room to see Sonny, but I did not expect to see Sonny laying up in the bed giving orders.
Still
Do
Sonny,
this,
right? Still Sonny.
do this. No, rub my arm this way. No, don't do it that way. No, I want the pizza. I don't want this. And I'm like, who is this woman? Like, where did she come from? And she was just so amazing to me. And I remember coming back home to New York telling the stores like, you guys have to go see Sonny because she is a blessing. She is
Yes.
a blessing. You think that she's in a situation, but she blesses you in spite of what she's going through. And then there was another time I was driving to Albany and I just needed somebody to talk to, and Sonny talked me all the way through the mountains in Albany. And I remember her talking about the scenario where she spoke about earlier where she was just thing and she couldn't do anything but look up.
Yeah.
And then that was a sign, like God is up, and so Sonny inspires me all the time. I have to apologize because I don't speak to her as often as I probably should. She called me the other day and cursed me out because um, I don't like you don't know my number. Like
I know. So
can't
you can
call me.
imagine how I felt when I called. But it's one of those things. We just have that relationship. One in GK, right? We have that
Yeah.
relationship. We can call each other
Yes. Yes.
beyond the years, right?
And
1980 to
and never miss a beat.
2019. I've had many people on this episode because I know I can call and that's the support that we have for one another. So I have two more people. Who's that? Who's that just joined?
Hey y'all.
Jordan. Hey
Hey.
Jordan.
What's
That's
up?
right,
So
Howard.
listen.
That's Jordan.
Well,
Yes.
warning. I talk fast. So y'all just gotta listen real fast. Okay. I can't slow down. I've been trying all my life. So I know Howard from church. We were both in the choir. I was in the choir. He played the drums whenever he showed up for practice. Which wasn't. He showed up when he felt like
Shots
it.
fired. Oh my goodness.
No, we met that way, and I mean, we hit it off. Like it was instant friendship. And then we kind of started off the youth ministry with his sisters at church, and then from there, I got a chance to see everything that. I mean, Howard had plans for literally everything, every part of his life. He wanted to go do this, become a Q. He did that. He wanted to do airborne school. He did that. And I remember when I found out that about the shooting, I was in Detroit. And I was planning on coming home anyway, but me and his sisters got in the car, came and saw him in Atlanta. And I mean, same thing. I forgot your name, ma'am, but you said that you went to see her in the hospital and she was giving orders. I mean, Howard was still positive, laying in the bed, and it was still very fresh. And even now, well, I guess prior, now and prior, but he was calling people that was also injured in the shooting to check on them. I don't know if it's a mutual thing where they called him as well, but I just love myself. If I'm in his shoes, I don't care about myself. Like, can you get me to walk? I'm not about to call everybody else and see how you feeling.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
So
yes.
I mean, just the person. Can you hear me, or should I pause?
No, I can hear you,
No,
girl.
we
Go
can hear.
ahead.
Well,
We can
Howard,
hear you.
he's gone.
Yeah, Howard left.
Well, either way,
He'll come back. Yes, please talk about Howard.
it's just, I mean, I don't know. He's very selfless. I think he's always been that way, but it blows my mind to see how he's still positive, how he still plans on and is changing his community and just gun violence in general. Because I don't know. I know for a fact I would not be the same person that he's been in all of this.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
about to be calling everybody and see how you doing, and you didn't call me.
yeah.
Because a lot of times, I think you said it too. Like I think Sonya,
Sonny, yeah,
Sonya.
yeah.
Yes.
people don't call you as much as you would think they would. And I know me and Howard have conversations where some of his friends don't do that, and I can't say I do as much as I could. But Howard gonna call you all day and be like, "What's up?" Like,
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
been? I've been good. Just a selfless person in general. Selfless, very positive. I don't know how he's that positive. Whether it was an accident or not, you could put him next to somebody who has everything in the world, and he's probably gonna overshadow him.
Right.
and that's the thing. It's just again talk about grit and grace.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they are the epitome of grit and grace. And then finally, I have one more person here. Hey,
Red,
Sora.
red.
Hey, Splash.
Hey, good evening. Hey, Spash. Hey, Source. Hey, everybody. How are
What's
you?
up,
Hey,
Red? What's up,
Lorinda.
Red?
Everything.
Yes, yes, Lorinda. You are there with Sonny.
Mm,
Just
mm.
how has she inspired you, and how have you seen her inspire others?
Hold on one
Well,
minute.
the one thing that I will say, in terms of being an inspiration to others, before the accident, during the accident, even after the accident, Sonny has always worked to breathe life into other people, right? Despite what circumstances she has gone through. I mean, there are times where she's got to kind of talk me through things, but I know that she talks people through their situations. And so that's something that's been consistent from her. I've seen Sonny in her most vulnerable moments. Some things that other people don't really see because she's always so positive, always trying to bring positivity and breathing life into everybody else's situation. So sometimes I worry because we need a break for ourselves too.
Yes.
But it's hard to think of yourself going through situations and still trying to be positive, not just for yourself, but for other people. You know what I'm saying? But that's sincere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, I wanted to be selfish. I know, like I said, seeing them and having met them myself at the time that I met them, they have both been such an inspiration to me. Like Janera said, probably don't talk as much as I should. I'm a do better in that space. Howard, I know I already sent you some information about that publishing stuff, so you and I need to talk for sure.
Right.
But thank you so much for being part of this special anniversary. I'm getting ready to cry. This special anniversary episode for
Con-
me.
it's
Congratulations,
okay.
Michelle.
All right. Congratulations, big
Congratulations.
sister.
God bless you, love.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
you, thank you, thank you.
This is part of
But
your testimony too.
I
Yes.
know,
Tell us about your grit
Wow.
and
This is
grace,
part of your
girl.
testimony. So live
Go
it, speak
ahead, go
it. Live
ahead.
it, speak it.
Yes, yes, yes. So, for me, this was born out of adversity for me, and that was my divorce,
Mm,
right? So having gone through that. And last year during the pandemic, just wanting to find a way of helping people, right? And Um, Found my voice. Most of you know I'm really good behind the scenes. I'm usually one of those people who are behind the scenes kind of person. And had a sister group really push me, knowing that I was a coach and knowing I was an HR professional, really just putting myself out there. And like I said, and I did. And what I hope people will get out of this is you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. And I think what Howard and Sani have mentioned is just having that faith, finding your purpose, and then doing what you need to do to continue to pull through. And you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. So I love all of you guys. Gervais, I just met you, but I love your spirit already. Look, I might be calling you
Thank
for
you.
an episode coming up. You just never know. Miss Jordan, my girl. Good,
You know I
good.
love
Love you. Love you, love you, love you. Let me get Janera back in here. I don't know what she was doing in her hotel room. I had to put her on, I had to hide her. There was some stuff
And
going on.
yeah,
Yeah,
I had to give out T-shirts and stuff, but I wanted
that's
to
okay.
say, two things. So, Spec, you are an inspiration to so many people, whether you know it or not. And and we've said this to you before, from a Gamma Kappa perspective, and so you already know how we feel about you. But just for the general public to know that don't know, anyone who knows Miss Michelle and doesn't know that she's an inspiration, to them and to the world, does not know Michelle.
Mm,
And so, you give so much of yourself to inspire other people, and especially young people, and you want us all to just, to reach the goal that we know we're capable of reaching. And you do that for people, and you make sure that, we have the tools and the keys that we need and the strength to do that. So I just want to say congratulations to you, on
thank
your
you.
anniversary, for this program, and to Lorinda and Sani. These two are two peas in the pod, and you know
Yes.
it's just the epitome of true friendship. Because when Sani had her accident, I don't even know that Lorinda thought I don't think Lorinda remembered that she had a kid at home, because Lorinda was on a flight to Atlanta, like
You about to make me cry.
Her
almost like
and Hajra.
immediately. Yeah,
Her
it
and
was like,
Hajra.
I mean, they had kids. It was like, oh no, we have to get to Sani now. Like, what the heck? And
Yeah.
that's just the epitome of true friendship. And I think that's what helps all of us to get through the challenges that we have in life, because of friendships.
Yes.
Without friendships, um, I don't think that any of us, even the strongest of us, would not be able to um go through the challenges successfully that
Yes.
we've gone through. So, to Sani and Lorinda, your friendships are just like amazing to me. And I love you both. To the moon and back. So you guys are all great. That's
Yes.
my 2 cents.
Yes. And
We
I
love
think
you, Jay.
Gervais, knowing Howard since y'all were, did y'all say
All
sixth
right,
grade or
I'll tell
6
you.
years old?
Sixth grade.
Sixth grade. Again, a testament to friendship and the power of friendship. Jordan, you as well. So I'm gonna put you all in the green room while I close out. Hopefully I can get myself together. But thank you. I love all of you. Gervais, you're now part of my family.
Thank you,
And
Michelle.
like I said, who knows when I'm gonna call you? You never know what episodes. Sometimes these episodes just pop up in my head. So I will get your information from Howard. But I'm gonna put you all in the green room while
Okay.
I close out, and let me make sure I don't disconnect myself here. But you guys, hopefully something that has been shared really has inspired you to kind of think about yourself and your circumstances, and motivates you to keep pushing. Yes, times are going to be rough. You're going to face challenges, but it's that grit and grace that really will get you through. And what a special episode. This has been just a couple of things I wanted to close out with. So I am going to take a break from Real Conversations for the month of August and the rest of July, so I can focus on the coaching part of my life with some coaching circles. And I do have, let me see if I can get this stuff up. I do have coaching circles that I am kicking off on July 21st for those who are early talent. So if you are new to the workplace and just need some help just maneuvering all things the workplace, this workshop is for you. This is going to be 8 sessions, coaching circle, 8 sessions, 8 consecutive weeks. So if you know someone who can benefit from this, please, please, please share the information. I'll start posting some more about it. The kickoff session will be July 21st. It's going to be an intro session. But again, if you know someone who's new to the workplace and just trying to figure out how to maneuver all things workplace, we'll be talking about how to deal with your manager, career development, dealing with politics in the workplace, unconscious bias, conflict management. I'm gonna really go wherever the energy is, depending on the participants. But yeah, so that is something that I am offering on the 21st. Kicks off on the 21st. So keep that date, and please share again if you know someone who would be interested in that. I keep kicking myself out the studio. Lord Jesus, I'm gonna have to move this tablet. Is so sensitive. But if you know someone who will be interested, definitely share the information about that. And on that note, so I don't kick myself out again, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining Real Conversations with Michelle, this anniversary episode. And I look forward to you joining me in September. I already have a lineup for September. But have a great week. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be safe, y'all. Thanks.